welcome back to the Hammmered Leatherworks studio. Today we're going to be making the iPhone sleeve. It comes in two sizes. This is the plus size. So if you're using an iPhone 6 with a bumper on it, you want to upsize to this size to give you the extra space you need for your case. Otherwise, our iPhone 6 sleeve will also fit an iPhone 7, and same with our iPhone Plus sleeve will fit the iPhone 6 and 7 Plus. This is in our new color we've just introduced, which is olive. Let's get started. Just going to slide the packaging off and open the box. Now, if you haven't had the chance to check out our Stitching 101 tutorial, I suggest you jump over there first and have a quick watch of that one. So you can see it gives a very in-depth description on how to do your stitching and how to get it perfect. So let's open the bag. Let's have a look what we've got. So like I said, this is our new iPhone sleeve. It comes in two sizes, the 6, 7 and the plus size. In the box, we've got all the small things, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leather pieces. This gorgeous new olive leather is veg tanned, and which means it's produced in the most environmentally friendly way possible. And the instructions. So let's open all the small things. Excellent. So we've got some gorgeous olive coloured thread, one of our high quality John James sewing needles, and some paracord that's going to form the neck lanyard for this design. We're going to start by actually putting some knots in the ends of the lanyard. Just a basic knot as you would put in a piece of string to do some sewing, one on each end. There we go. Beautiful. Means when we put our lanyard in, it's not going to slip through the retainers. So our next step is to take the back piece of I'll show you the pieces. So these are your three main pieces. This is the phone pocket, this is the card pocket, and these are the retainers for the paracord to hang around your neck. So we're going to start with attaching the retainers to the back piece. So I'm going to put the front piece and the pocket piece aside. You can tell that this is the back piece because it has this extra row of holes just here. Alrighties. We're going to measure our thread, 3 and 4, and times that by 2. There we go, thread our needle. Now on short seams like that, you will add a needle length to make sure that you have the ability to turn the needle at the end. You do want to pinch your thread to slip it through the eye of the needle. There it goes. Beautiful. So we're going to take these retainer pieces. As you can see, they've been curved out so the paracord sits nicely in them. And we're going to lay them over this set of holes here so they overhang the edge of the piece like this. And we're going to sew the 5-hole seam we have there. So starting between the layers, off we go. Okay, so we're on our final hole. We've got all our holes on the front field. About to make our final hole in the back. We're going to do a double stitch in the last hole to hold the thread, and up between the layers where we started. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. So we're going to pull the needle off the thread and we're going to trim these back so they're hidden. We're not going to tie a knot in them because the double stitch we've put in will hold the thread together as it is a wax linen thread. And push those in. Now we're going to do the same to the other side. So the piece of thread we cut earlier, we're going to pinch the end and thread our needle. There we go. Once again, taking the smaller piece and lining it up with the inner set of holes so it hangs over the edge of the piece. So turn this around and we're going to start between the layers. And we're going to sew the seam. There we go, all of our holes are full. We have one empty hole here which we're going to fill now. Put our double stitch in that last hole, like that. Then coming up between the layers from the bottom out where we started. Beautiful. And we're going to trim that. What makes this sleeve a really quick make is that we're actually going to now do the main seam that's going to create the entire case. So right now you have a piece of leather that looks a little bit like Shrek with his ears at the top there. When we sew around this outer edge, we're going to fold these up and include them in the stitch line on the back there, and they'll end up not protruding from the case on the side, but they'll end up on the back. So the next step, it really comes together very fast, this case. We're going to lay all the pieces on top of each other like this, lining up the holes, and we're going to stitch from this edge all the way down to the center, and then same on the other side. We do leave a cutout in the middle for if you wanted to put a phone charging cable through to the case while it's still in it. Maybe you have a portable charger that you like to use. So we're going to measure our thread. So from the top all the way down to the bottom and around the corner, we're going to times that by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's our length. And then we're going to make 2 of those because we're going to need 2. You'll notice in our kits we're really generous with the thread, so don't stress too much if you cut it wrong. There's always enough there to fix it up. There we go, there's our 2 pieces of thread. Pinch the end, thread the needle. There we go. So when I sew these cases, I like to start at the bottom and put our double stitch down there, because if you are going to be pulling a cable in and out, it can have a little bit more stress in that area. So here we go. Lining all of our layers up, starting between the main 2 layers where the foam will go. So 1, 2, so we're going to go between the main 2 foam layers. Up the second hole, leaving a tail, and down the first hole, because that's where our reinforcing stitch will end up at the end. So at this point you will be sewing through 3 layers of leather, and off we go. Okay, here we go. Now, we're stopping here because as you can see, we've reached our little Shrek's ear. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our paracord and we're going to slip it into the casing as such. And we're going to take the leather and we're going to feed the needle through the first 2 layers, which is the phone case, around the paracord and into the first hole onto the back of the retainer. So it's going to be like this. And pull. Do the same again from the back. We go through the 3 layers. And you just keep sewing as per normal. There we go, we've reached the top. So we're now going to go back the way we came. As you can see, we have included our paracord here. It's still moving, so we haven't caught it with the needle, so we just need to be careful of that on the way back. And you want to make sure that you give it a nice tight tug on the way back, because you want to make sure that you pull that leather into shape on the back that's got the paracord on it. And there we go, we've made it past the paracord now. It's got a lovely tunnel shape to it. And we're going to keep going. All right, so here we are. We've gone all the way down the side. We're back where we started. We have an empty hole on the back, which means it's time to do our reinforcing stitch. So I'm going to go up the hole there. We're going to put a second layer of thread in the very first stitch that we did. There we go. So we've got all the layers filled. Now we're going to come back up where we started. This can be a bit tricky because you're going through a layer of leather and coming out through the middle. As you can see there, I haven't gone through the top layer. We're actually sandwiched between the layers. Pull that through and trim. There we go, pull that thread off and tuck the ends in. Beautiful. So we're almost there, one more seam to go and we've got it. So we're going to take the piece of thread we cut earlier when we cut 2 and thread our needle again. There we go. I like to twist the thread, personal preference. So we're going to start the other side now. So same as we did before, coming up the second hole across from between the phone layers, leaving a tail. Make our first stitch to hold all the layers. And we're off. So here we are. We're back at the other side where we have our little Shrek's ear sticking out. So we're going to take our lanyard again, the paracord. We're going to slot it into the retainer and put our needle through the phone case and then bend the leather over to meet and bring the layers together. There we go. So 1, 2. I'm going to make sure we don't go through that paracord. So you do want to make sure that you are mindful of that, because if you go through the paracord, it's not going to slip through the retainers as you'd like it to. There we go. So we're here, and you just check now by pulling on the paracord. Excellent. So now we're going to go back the way we came. Just pulling on the paracord at any time you can check whether you've managed to snag it or not. There we go. So we can check. Excellent. Paracord's flowing nicely, and we're on our way. So here we are, we have thread in every hole on the front, and we are just missing the last hole there on the back. So we're going to do our secondary stitch in our last hole now. That's going to secure the thread. Up, down, there's the second stitch, and then we're going to come up through the one layer of leather. Just going to pull that little tag aside so I don't split it with the needle. Come up between the layers and trim. We're going to tuck that in. By doing the double stitch and tucking the ends in against itself, it means we don't have to do a knot, which keeps the project really slim and very well finished. So there we go. We have just made the iPhone Plus sleeve. Like I said, the iPhone 6 sleeve is exactly the same, it's just slightly smaller, and you can adjust your sleeve by pulling on the lanyard and tying a new knot. If you do trim the length at all, make sure that you burn the end to stop fraying. So in the sleeve, you'll fit your phone, credit cards or business cards, and then you can get on your way hands-free and not have your heavy pockets or a big handbag. Thanks for joining us for this video tutorial. We'd love to see how yours turned out. Please do hashtag Hammmered Leatherworks on Instagram because we'd love to see it. Thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Happy crafting!